So we're halfway through the year now, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to go back and talk about some of my favorite mods that have come out this year so far, but with an interesting twist, I guess, to that. So basically, I'm going to be talking about the mods as they were released. So if a mod came out in January, it only counts to talk about it in January. Basically, I'm going to talk about my favorite mods by month. That way we can get some interesting choices and you guys can see a little bit of diversity of what came out per month. And we're just going to jump into it. I'm going to talk about January through June, and then the next time I make one of these, it'll be July through December. So you'll probably see that sometime in 2025 if I remember to make one. But either way, let's get to it. So for January, the very first mod on this list, and January was a pretty light month. Keep that in mind. It's actually AGOT bookmarked. Now, I like this one for a couple of reasons. One, I really love AGOT anyway, and I like the idea of having more bookmarks so you get a little bit more variety in gameplay, because as you know, there's only a couple so far and they are great, but sometimes you want a little bit more. So you get to play Aegon's Conquest, you get the Dance of Dragons, you get the first Blackfire Rebellion, you get the Defiance of Duskendale, War of the Five Kings, the Clash of Kings, and a Feast for Crows. Lots of great stuff. You also get a unique men-at-arms units, which are made to represent dragons on the battlefield, which is pretty cool, like Balerion, Syraxes, Vermax, a bunch of other ones. Obviously, the mod's a little superfluous, or soon will be with the upcoming dragon update to AGOT, but at the time, it added a long-needed or long-asked-for feature to the game in a unique way that I really enjoyed. The creator has said that the mod is pretty much as it is going to be. They're not going to be doing too much more to it. I think it was last updated in June of this year. So who knows how much more we'll see from it. When dragons get added, there'd be no need for them to actually update it further. I think it's just a great way to expand some of the game for a little bit of time. That's probably the hardest part, I would assume, about being a mod creator, because you know these mods are going to be updated and sometimes your mods might become redundant. But I appreciated this in January, and this is my pick for January. AGOT bookmarked. So for February, I loved this one the second I heard about it. This is Sauron's Tamrielic adventure. Basically, the idea is that Sauron was defeated in Middle-earth, but since he's not mortal, he just basically became remade in Tamriel, given a second chance to take over the land as the Dark Lord in Tamriel. And I really love the idea of this. I think it's a brilliant, clever idea. You start off, I believe, on the Hammerfell Skyrim border. Get some interesting room for expansion. I believe your kingdom title is Gorgoroth and your empire title is Mordor. Just a really funny mod. From what I understand, though, you don't have a unique culture, or your culture is bad because it has no innovations. So you're probably going to have to convert to something else, because I've heard that's kind of brutal, which it would be, understandably. That is a downside. Personally, I'd probably convert to Nord just because it would be funny if Sauron was in Nord. But I love the idea of Sauron being in, or just any character from another series being in another mod. I think that's a brilliant idea. I would love to see more of this. I would love to see this mod continue to be updated. It's last updated in May. Elder Kings 2 obviously hasn't been updated in a little bit, so not a big deal. Hopefully this one sticks around, because I would love to do a video on this someday. For March and for April, both of these are really easy picks for me. March is After the End. It came out March 19th, and this is the neo-feudal post-apocalyptic total conversion mod. Great team, set in the year 2666, offers a variety of new playstyles. It also lets you play in North and South America. I have a pretty decent video that I think helps explain the basics of this mod if you're curious, and then I've also done quite a few other videos as well if you want to see a more in-depth look at it. I love After the End. I think it's a fantastic mod. The team is really nice. I love the assets. I love the idea of it. It feels a lot like what I wish Fallout actually was. It's just a ton of fun. I think it's probably one of the most creative, one of the most attention to detail oriented mods that I've ever seen. The amount of references in basically everything from cultures to faiths to items to titles, everything has so much like inside jokes, inside references to cultures, places, peoples. It is incredible. It is one of the best mods for Crusader Kings 3, bar none. Has a wonderful dev team, wonderful update cycle. I highly recommend it. And again, if you want to see more about this mod, I would recommend you checking out my video just to give you a general overview and then hopping in for yourself and giving it a go. It's fantastic. And then for April, this one came out towards the end of the month, but this one should also be a no-brainer. This is the Bronze Age Reborn, the revival by Snowlet of the Bronze Age mod that died a couple years ago. I believe it was even the first total conversion mod for Crusader Kings 3 at the time. It was a great mod from what I'm told. I never actually got to try it when it initially came out, so I was super jazzed to see that it was making a return here in Crusader Kings 3. It's a historical total conversion mod with start dates in 2115 BCE or 1590 BCE, so there's a lot of variety. You can play as the Mycenaeans, you can play as the Egyptians, you can play as the Hittites, you can play as a ton of different Bronze Age factions. The Scythians are even in there. It's great. I love it. I plan on doing more videos for it in the future. I've done a little bit of an overview for this one as well. Not as in-depth as After the End, but it's still a lot of fun. Highly recommend you check this mod out. Definitely one of the better total conversion mods I also think out right now. I do think it needs a little bit more in terms of its appearances, like the clothing needs to be changed more to reflect the Bronze Age, but some of the stuff that's there right now is really cool, and I also love the map. I love everything about this mod. It's fantastic. For May, I want to talk about two mods, although they're technically the same mod. They're both official sub-mods of the AGOT mod, and this is AGOT Small and AGOT Micro. Now, I want to talk about these because I loved this when I heard it was coming out. They're basically mods that are designed for people whose computers struggle with the standard Game of Thrones mod. It makes the experience run better, it reduces textures, it increases game performance. It is fantastic, and obviously small. If small isn't good enough for you, you can try the micro one. I think this is a brilliant idea. I love the fact that these mod creators want more people to try their mods and be able to play them, and have made it more accessible for them, because AGOT, from what I've seen, not only in their dev diaries, but just from the map itself as somebody who plays a lot of mods, it is one of the most detailed maps for Crusader Kings 3, bar none. So the fact that they did this and that they were kind enough to actually put in the effort, it's tremendous. I could not applaud you guys enough. AGOT Small and AGOT Micro are fantastic mods, and if you have a PC that struggles to run the AGOT mod, I could not recommend these enough. These are easily my favorite mods of May. So good. Great job, guys. And then for June, we have Better Ruler Designer. This one also came out near the end of June, but I love the idea of this because anything that makes character creators better is fantastic for a game like Crusader Kings. I think being able to zoom in, change the lighting, change the backgrounds, change everything, and being able to just see everything up close is crucial to this process. It makes it really, really nice. I do know that there's some bugs with the system, like if you zoom in too fast, it'll crash, but it's fantastic that you can do all this. You can adjust the height, you can see a height map. There's so many wonderful features of this Better Ruler Designer that it seems like it's a no-brainer to me to include this one on the list. So many people love making custom rulers, and I think that this now elevates that game to an insane degree where you can just tweak everything to your heart's content if that's something that you do. Personally, I just randomize until I kind of like what they look like, but I know some people don't, or a lot of people don't do that really. And then this is the perfect mod for you to do that. I think this, coupled with Better Barbershop, are just going to be your best friend. But that is going to be it for this one. These are just the 6, or I guess 7 technically, that I loved the most from their months. Not necessarily all the mods I like this year, but these are the mods, or the tops of their respective months that I think that's on the screen right now, as you can see. I'm excited to see what comes out the rest of the year. A lot of strong candidates. Obviously, AGOT is going to get Dragons at some point, but that's not going to count, unfortunately, because AGOT already came out. But they will definitely get an honorable mention when we see those, because I'm very excited for it. And of course, God Herja and all those other mods that have been updated recently. But again, that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this idea. If you do, let me know, and I'll consider doing more of these in the future. But if not, it's okay. Just let me know, and I won't. But that's all for me. As always, I'm Soul. This has been a Crusader Kings 3 mod video, and I will happily see you in the next one.